DivaSpeaks Relationships Podcast is the hottest, grown, and sexy relationship conversation piece out of the Queen City. No relationship matter is off limits. Sex, marriage, love, betrayal, dating, side pieces, adultery, religion, and finances are all a part of the discussion because your relationship matters. Now, here's your host, the Diva, Angela Porto Real.
I caught you slipping. You must be tripping. Cause now I know. Oh, yes, I know. About your other girls in your past and your black book. A very long time ago. Well, you must think I'm crazy. You must think I'm blind. If you want to keep me boy, stop wasting my time. Here we go again. It's the same old song. You're thinking you don't do me like the other ones before, baby. What you say? All this time I thought that I was the one who had the problem. Oh, yeah. I gave you everything, hoping things might change, but still you ain't around.
Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to DivaSpeaks Relationships with the Unlicensed Therapist. My name is Angela Porto Real, and we have another letter. It's lengthy, okay? It's lengthy, but I need you to pay attention because things like this, they actually happen in real life to real people. And it's unfortunate that it's happening to our good sister. And because this is such a lengthy letter, I'm not going to waste no time. I'm about to dig right into this letter, okay? Okay, so our good sis captions the letter as, I took care of him, he took care of her. You heard it. I took care of him, he took care of her. Dear Diva Speaks, I don't even know if I'm more hurt, angry, or just numb. All I know is my stomach has been in knots since the moment I found out the truth. For almost a year now, I've been by my husband's side, fighting his battle with stage 4 cancer. Doctor's appointments, hospital stays, chemo treatments, sleepless nights, you name it. I've held his hand through the vomiting. I prayed over him when he was too weak to pray for himself. I've carried this family on my back while his body has been breaking down. I told myself this is what for better or worse looks like. This is love. But what I just discovered has made me feel like a fool. I recently got a call from the insurance company, a slip up, really, because the paperwork had our home address on it. They were calling to confirm some details about a life insurance policy. Only this wasn't the policy I knew about. The one I knew about, the one he bragged he set up years ago to protect me and the kids, is modest. Enough to cover expenses and keep the lights on for a little while, but nothing life-changing. This policy, this was different. A multi-million-dollar insurance policy, nearly 20 times the amount of the one I'm listed on. My name, nowhere on it. Instead, another woman, a woman I don't know, never heard of, never seen, is listed as the sole beneficiary. Do you know what it feels like to sit in a hospital waiting room, wiping sweat off your husband's forehead, holding a bucket while he vomits from chemo, only to find out he's been setting up another woman to live comfortably after he dies? To find out that as I was praying for his healing, he was planning for her inheritance. It makes me physically sick. I literally dropped to my knees and vomited when I read the paperwork. The gag is, the policy was taken out right around the same time he got his diagnosis, which means while he was telling me, baby, we're in this together, he was already making plans to leave me with crumbs and bless her with millions. I feel like I've been living in a cruel theater play. Here I am thinking I'm the devoted wife standing by her man during his darkest hour, only to realize I've been cast as the caretaker while his real future, his financial legacy belongs to someone else. And now my mind won't stop spinning. Is she the only policy holder? Wait a minute. Is this the only policy or are there more? What other assets has he put in her name? When he passes, what else is going to blindside me? Who knew? Does his family know? Have they all kept this secret from me? I keep picturing myself at his funeral, broken only to be ambushed afterward with lawyers, papers, and a woman I don't even know, walking away with everything. It's like I'm about to lose my husband and my life at the same time. Diva, how do you process a betrayal this big? How do you keep loving a man through his sickness when you know he's leaving you with nothing? How do you grieve someone whose final gift to you is poverty? That's deep. And while another woman gets the prize for a race I didn't even know I was running. If you're just now tuning in, I know that was a lot to sit through. The cliff notes to this is we got a devoted wife who has been married and her husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer about a year ago. She's been by his side ever since. She has prided herself in being a devoted wife. She has prided herself in sticking by his side and honoring the part of the vows that said for better or for worse, only to discover by a fluke, by accident, that her husband has taken out an additional insurance policy and he has named another woman as the sole beneficiary of this policy. Our good sister says the gag is this policy is 20 times the amount of the modest policy that he's bragged about, that he's set up for me and the kids for years. He's bragged about that. But she says it's modest in comparison to the millions that this other policy is worth and that he's leaving to this woman that she knows nothing about, never heard of her, never seen her, don't know her. Where did she come from? Our sister is crushed. Any woman would be. Any man would be if the roles were reversed, if the genders were reversed. Anybody would be. If you was literally writing this thing out until your significant other transitions over, okay? They're getting ready to die. And while they're getting ready to die and allowing you to sit through all of this agony and pain with them, they're making sure that the side piece, the side chick, the mistress, or the other person is being set up financially for life. That is a blow to the gut. My short answer is, my good sister, I would step aside. I would step aside with my head held high. And I would allow this other woman to take my position in this moment. Because what you have to do now is position yourself to brace for this transition to take place and get your affairs in order. You have been attentive to your husband's needs in his dying hours, while this woman gets to do nothing but benefit from an insurance policy that your husband has set up for her, leaving you nothing. And you brought out you have some valid points or questions that you posed in the letter. What else don't you know about? Are there additional policies? What other assets has he transferred or put in her name? You don't know. But the wonderful thing about it is, now you have the information before his death. Now you get to hire a private investigator. You get to hire an attorney. You get to see what legal rights that you have in this moment before He expires so that you can protect yourself and your financial stability, okay? I don't know anything about overriding the insurance, the policy holder and the beneficiary that they have assigned to receive the benefits, the proceeds in the event of their death. I don't know anything about that, but that's why you need to hire an attorney. And if I was you, I would try to declare him as being mentally unstable to make such a decision in this hour. He's about to transition over. Who's to say that he's in his right mind? I would challenge it immediately. Now is not the time. And I know you're hurt. You have to be hurt. I understand that level of betrayal that he was planning for you to find out, or maybe he didn't plan for you to find out. Maybe that's the way it was supposed to work. In any event, nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. You are supposed to know this. And now that you know, what you do next will determine how everything unfolds up and until the day that he dies and afterwards. Be smart, my sister. You can grieve later, but I need you to be smart. I need you to right now put your emotions aside, and I need you to handle this business. And I want you to have a conversation with him. You let him know that you know. What is he going to do besides die eventually? What? I would suggest that you step aside. I really do, sis. I think you have bigger fish to fry in this moment. I think that this knowledge about the insurance policy, and another woman that you know nothing about being the sole beneficiary of a policy of that size, that magnitude, that excuses you from the table, because you have work to do now. Let her take over. Let her take over. Why is it that you have to do all the hard work when he had planned for basically a life of poverty for you while he set her up financially? You need to find out who this woman is. Many, many years ago, I remember being in a service at the Potter's house under Bishop T.D. Jakes. I remember he said something, and it could apply to anyone, but he was speaking about men. He was speaking about the men. And he said, you can tell where a man's heart is at by what he spends his money on or what he allocates his money to and for. You can tell. This man of yours, your husband, has shown you that. In death, he has chosen another woman. In death. It doesn't matter that you've been sitting by his side. You've been the dutiful wife. You have been the wife that has chosen to honor the vows up until death. Meanwhile, he's not thinking about you and the kids. You said you two have children together. He's not thinking about you and the kids. He is thinking about that other woman that he has a soul tie with and he feels responsible to, or he wants to gift her with something that exceeds what he's leaving for you and his own kids. Oh, that's a low down so-and-so. Sister, hire an attorney. This is beyond my bandwidth to speak on. All I could do, I would tell you if I was in your shoes, aside from being emotionally devastated, aside from knowing the fact that this man, that no matter the betrayal, in this moment, you still love him, okay? You're crushed because you love him. You're broken because you love him. It's devastating because you love him. But don't allow your emotions to stop you from making sure that the moment that he closes his eyes permanently, that you are not going to be left without anything, and you are going to have to struggle for the rest of your life. Multi-millions? Absolutely not. Hire an investigator or hire an attorney that can provide you with the legal counsel and the private eye investigator as well. Pull it out. Pull out all the money for this. Pull it out, because this is going to determine how everything unfolds for you. And I hate this happened to you. I hate that it breaks my heart that you thought so much of him and you love him so much and you were committed to the covenant that you made with this man and God. But he thought nothing about that same covenant when it came to you and those kids. Sister, there's a time to mourn, there's a time to grieve, there's a time for celebration, there's a time to be joyful, and then there's a time that you have to roll up your sleeve and say, I got work to do. I can cry about this later, but in this moment, I have work to do. Another powerful sermon that I remember from the Potter's House. You guys all know it. Y'all call it something else. What is it called? I forget. It's the sermon where he's talking about Ruth and Boaz and all of this other stuff. But the original title of the sermon was Nothing Just Happened. Okay, now I remember. The popular title that has been reassigned to that iconic ceremony is Let Them Go. When people want to walk away from you, let them go. Okay. The original title of that sermon was Nothing Just Happens. Okay. I know I was there. Nothing just happens. This didn't happen by happenstance. You was meant to find that out before your husband passed away. And now that you have, that is God Almighty looking out for you. Because if there is something to be done that could stop this immediately, then let's get to work. Let's put a halt on it. Okay, let's do that. Guys, if you're just now tuning in, let me just wrap this up. The letter is a bit lengthy, so I'm not going to read it. Just know that our sister has a husband who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer about a year ago. He's still here. She's been taking care of this man. She's been by this man's side every day, by his bedside, hospital visits, praying for him, praying over him, holding his hand and his head while he vomits through the chemo and everything, only to discover by a fluke that he has taken out around the same time that he received that diagnosis. He's taken out a policy for a woman she knows nothing about for millions of dollars. And she says, yes, he has a life insurance policy for me and the kids. She said, but it is measly compared to the insurance proceeds that this woman is going to get. I don't even know this woman. Who is this woman? Where did she come from? See, you never know. And she's devastated, of course. Like, she's doing all the work. She's got the title, she's the wife, legal status and everything. And here he is. He's making sure that this other woman gets to benefit and set up, financially for a while. She says while he's leaving her to live in poverty. By comparison, I told her, step aside. I told her, sister, step aside. Please step aside. Let this woman come in and hold his hand and do all of this and do all of that. And I told her to roll up her sleeves and get to work. There are some legal things that need to be put in place. She needs to understand her rights, what she's entitled to, what she can stop. Any and all, she needs an attorney. Because again, this is outside of my bandwidth. I can't talk legalities. I can't talk about insurance clauses, policies, and who's entitled to what, and if you can override it, if you can take it to court. Will a judge have to review the policy and make a determination? I don't know any of that, but I do know she needs legal counsel at this point. I'm sorry that this has happened to you. This is so unfortunate, but I'm so glad that you found out now. I would let him know that I know. I would let him know. I would. It may be too late to take out an additional policy considering his health at this stage. I don't know of too many insurance policy companies. Let me say that again. I don't know of too many insurance companies that would insure a person with his health status 4 cancer. He could expire at any time. I'm not sure you can do that. But I do know that you do have a right to explore your options. You need to find out who this woman is. You need to find out and go digging through his assets. Maybe there's some more property and bank accounts that you know nothing of. And how was he able to pay for this policy? I'm sure a policy of that size requires a big chunk premium every month. Have you not noticed? Where was the money coming from to pay the premiums for this insurance policy. Or maybe she was taking care of it. I don't know. But I do know that you have answers to explore. Guys, you just never know, right? You never know. So on my way out, guys, listen. Diva Speaks Relationships can be found, my actual talk show, because the Diva is on television. Okay, that's right. I'm just not up here on social media. I mean, I'm on social media. I mean, you can look at me over here. But listen, guys, check out my channels on Roku, Amazon Fire, as well as Apple TV. My channel name, Diva Speaks Relationships. My talk show comes on Spectrum Cable and AT&T Uverse every second and fourth Friday of the month at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have to check your local listings, because I know that in the Carolinas and the surrounding areas, I know where it airs, but you have to check your local listings because it is through a public access channel. Okay? And that's how I'm able to be on cable and satellite television. Also, guys, visit the website. We do have, my sweetie and I, we do have digital download relationship games for couples, as well as the tangible therapeutic games for couples in a crisis such as this. Once again, my name is Angela Patarreal of Diva Speaks Relationships. I am the unlicensed therapist. And until the next time, toodles.
You've been listening to the Diva Speaks Relationships podcast, the hottest grown and sexy relation conversation piece out of the Queen City, hosted by the Diva, Angela Porter-Real. We hope you enjoyed the show. Follow us on Instagram at DivaSpeaks_official. Let's stay connected.